Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to the... On this episode, we review IDW's Transformers number 42, the penultimate comic in their ongoing series. We look at Nick Roche's frequently asked questions for his upcoming Last Bot Standing comic miniseries, and we go back to the beginning to look at the original ads for the G1 Marvel comic 38 years ago. Today is Friday, May 13th, 2022, and this is episode 285 of Transmissions Alt Mode. Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that knows the answer to life, the universe, and everything. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Oh, I just got it. Let's talk Transformers.
All right. As always, we'll start off the episode by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us out. We really appreciate it, and you help us keep this show going. One of the perks of being a Donatreon is that you get access to our early uncut version episodes of our Transformers live play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. So this week we had Empire of Rust episode 75, and episode 76 is not available on the free feed for 2 more weeks. But this week, because coming Monday, May 16th, you will get access to Empire of Rust episode 76, The Spark Awakens. And so this is the bonus long uncut version with all the outtakes left in. So please enjoy that if you are a Donatron. If you're not a Donatron, you just got to wait another week till it comes out on the free feed. But hey, you could sign up and get it now. Also, for on the free feed this week is the third part of the Transmissions Empire of Rust crossover that we put out last fall. So this is available to all of our on the free feed for all of our listeners. You know, if you haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, you can listen to it now. And that episode 3 is called Through the Monty Glass. And that's available at transmissionspodcast.com/rust, also on May 16th. So let's jump right in with some comics news. And just one little tidbit of comics news is that we've got the Transformers Last Bot Standing. I believe that that either came out this week or is coming out next week. I think it's coming out very soon. But Nick Roche, the author of this miniseries, has put together a frequently asked questions on his Twitter feed. So if you were curious about Last Bot Standing, he answers some questions about it. We've talked a little bit about Last Bot Standing already. He gets, you know, I like it. He says it's imagine Old Man Logan, Hulk the End, or Dark Knight Returns as a steampunk western starring the last ever Transformer, which I think is a nice, short and sweet description.
I have read none of those. Well, maybe parts of Dark Knight Returns, but
well, Daryl can help you out. Daryl can get you up to speed.
Yeah, I know at least 2 of the 3 of those.
I also like it. One of his questions is, which continuity? Answer now. And he says all of them or none. It's so far flung it could ultimately be utterly speculative, but squint and it bolts onto your Transformers canon as the chronological last adventure. So that's also a good good take. He likes another question he has. Actually, I don't even like Transformers, and his answer to that is, I promise you, if you have a basic knowledge of Transformers, Autobots versus Decepticons, Robots in Disguise, Endless War, or if you only ever dipped your toe in, Last Bot Standing tells a complete tale of survival, guilt, hope, robots, and cowgirls. So,
and he mentioned the release date in the next one.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. May 11th, so it should already be out then. So when this podcast goes up May 13th, so should already be available to everyone looking for Last Bot Standing. So everyone, tell us how it is. Also, the one last one I just wanted to point out. He says on one of his facts, it says, "I don't like your drawings, though," and he says, "All right, Mom, back off. I draw covers and some short flashback sequences. Otherwise, it's all OG IDW TF GOAT EJ Sue on hyperkinetic art duties, and Irish superstar colorist Rebecca Nalty matching the elegiac tone of the tale throughout." So I like Nick Roche he's awesome as both a writer and an artist, but he's took a step back and let EJ Sue do the art duties on this one, which is cool. And I like OG IDW TF GOAT, greatest of all time.
Yeah.
If you didn't know what GOAT stand for, so nice.
and obviously Nick still has his thesaurus right next to his keyboard.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm sure we will have a review of Last Spot Standing coming very soon in the next few weeks or so. But for right now, let's get into the comic we are reviewing this week.
Did you mentioned the exclusive cover, right?
Oh, no, I did not mention the exclusive cover. The exclusive variant cover that I believe is that Alex Milne?
No, that's this is a fan that I've been kind of following on Twitter for a while, and I don't know their real name, and I'm just trying to find their Twitter handle right now. Marble_V is their Twitter handle, and I'll post it in there, and you can see because they've been posting some of their old stuff recently too. So there it is there, and absolute insane art from them. And so I first saw their work when they posted a picture of Devastator tearing into Autobot City from that scene from the 86 movie, and I was like, holy shit, this person could draw, right? And a lot of their stuff has got this real visceral feel to it, and then I saw this cover that they put out, and I thought, I didn't know who it was because the image is so tiny, and then David Marriott replied that it was this Marble_V, which I still don't know their real name. So hopefully, we'll get an actual name. But this looks fantastic, and this person has posted on their Twitter feed a much larger image of the cover without any words or titles on it, so you get to see a lot closer. It looks fantastic. So I'm quite interested in picking this up. Yeah, there you go. Oh, you got to it half a second before I did. There you go.
And DJ Ronan posted the Devastator image that you just mentioned. So.
Yeah, that cool. Autobot City one is just insane. I would love to just buy that on a print of that. Looks amazing.
It looks like the online exclusives from IDW are limited to 1,000 copies of each item.
Yeah. So this looks really good.
Yeah, it did, like, when I saw the tiny image on the TFW story didn't mention who the artist was, so it did look like Alex Milne to me. But that's a really cool image.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the one I forgot to mention also that Last Spot Standing is 30 pages. Each issue is 30 pages, not the standard 20 pages. So the comics are an extra $1, but I guess an extra $2, or no, extra comics are $3.99 or $4.99.
Yeah, they're $5.99 a piece. These are so.
Yeah, so
$2.
It's an extra $2. Yeah, but it's 10 extra pages per issue. So
totally
that's
worth
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, now let's jump into our comic review. And we are reviewing Transformers number 42, the penultimate issue of the ongoing Transformers continuity. So,
good word.
Transformers will...
Good fucking word.
Yes. So Transformers will be ending with issue 43. We've got the things are ramping up in this issue. Of course, issue 42 is the ultimate answer to everything. If you've read your Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, so it's kind of surprising that they didn't. If you're not going to end on a round number, you should try to end on 42. But they didn't make it. So
42 is a round number.
But it's cool, and we're gonna get into this issue. So Transformers number 42, Radical Time, written by Brian Ruckley, art by Andrew Lee Griffith, colors by David Garcia Cruz, letters by Jake M. Wood, editor David Marriott, assistant editor Riley Farmer, supervising editor Tom Waltz. We've got 3 covers. Cover A shows just a tableau of Autobots and Decepticons with Cybertron in the center, all circling around it. You've got Megatron and G-Axis and Stryka. You've got Road Rage, Optimus Prime, and Hound. And that is art by Blackie Shepard with colors by Josh Burcham. Cover B is Nova Star. She's got, it looks like she's really gearing up for battle. She's got a cool action pose there. And that's by Evan Gaunt. And then the retailer incentive cover is Optimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, and Bumblebee facing off against the Rustworms. And that is art by Nicole Gao. So, Daryl, which cover would you pick here?
Well, I know that I bought cover A, and I'm not seeing it. I should have probably. I mean, I think I made a quick judgment call on cover B, and I thought, you know what, didn't really like it from a distance, so I picked cover A, and seeing it more closely here, I probably like cover B more. I don't know what the hell's going on in the RI cover. That's some Tom Scully kind of crap there. But I'm gonna go with cover B because it's rendered a lot more cleanly, and it looks cooler. It's like some dark, Blade Runner kind of looking stuff there. I like that one. Looks cool.
Nice. Okay, Jeremy, which cover are you picking?
I see Daryl's point on cover B. It's probably my second favorite cover this week, but I'm going to actually try to get this RI cover. I like the fun of it. I like this cartoony style here and there, and it just kind of hits me where I'm like, yeah, this one's a great image.
All right, and I'm actually going to agree with Daryl. I really like cover B. I like this. It just makes Nova Star look super cool. She's got a cool action pose here. I agree with the Blade Runner aesthetic that Daryl mentioned, and I just think it looks really cool. I'm still a little. I'm still getting used to calling her Nova Star. She'll always be Firestar to me. She's been Firestar for 35 years. Why did she have to become Nova Star? I like Firestar, but whatever. Still. Anyway, let's get into the story. Optimus Prime oversees the Autobot exodus from Crystal City as they make the long journey to meet with all the other Cybertronian refugees at Darkmount. They travel through the ruins of the Light Garden. Prime resolves not to let Cybertron be destroyed by all the threats facing it, nor will he let Megatron remake Cybertron in his image. Prime asks Magnus if there are any updates from Pyra Magna at the Sonic Canyons, where she fights against Exarchon, or from Nova Star, who was working with the scientists at Darkmount to eliminate the Insecticlone and Rustworm threats. Magnus has not had any communications with either team. Speaking of Darkmount, Termagax, Wheeljack, Perceptor, and Highbrow go over their desperate plan to stop both the Insecticlones and Rustworms. Blaster and Glyph are making a data packet virus to infect the Insecticlones, while Hound and his team are working to capture a fully functional Insecticlone intact. Glyph and Tapout share a quiet goodbye as Tapout joins Hound's team while Glyph stays behind with Blaster. Some distance away in a barren wasteland, Nova Star's team gets into position. Since Sure Shot is fighting Exarchon in the Sonic Canyons, Javelin fills in as the team's sniper. She proves her worth by taking out a bombshell Insecticlone before it can expose their position. Meanwhile, Smokescreen uses his Smokescreen to hide from the Insecticlone swarm and scout out the Insecticon's headquarters in the body of a dead Titan. Back at the Autobot convoy, Optimus Prime leads the weary Autobots as they trudge on toward Darkmount. Suddenly, the ground erupts in huge explosions a short distance from their position, but right in their path. Prime tries to contact Stryka, thinking this must be a Decepticon action, despite the recently agreed to truce. But he doesn't get Stryka. G-Axis responds and tells Prime there's nothing to worry about. The Decepticons are engaging a swarm of Insecticlones that are in the area. So there's no need to worry, but the Autobots will need to change their course of direction. Prime is suspicious with good reason. He expected Megatron to break the truce, but Stryka was an honorable general. Her absence might indicate that she was given an order she refused to follow. G-Axis has no such integrity. The Autobots are being boxed in. There's a large dust cloud to one side of their group, while the Decepticons claim Insecticlones are blocking their way forward. But Prime's suspicions are true. The Decepticons are not firing at threatening Insecticlones. They're just creating a barrier to force the Autobots into the waiting maws of the rustworms hiding in that dust cloud. Optimus Prime prepares to give Ironhide orders, but he suddenly freezes up and stops responding to anyone. Internally, Optimus Prime is having a Matrix vision. Inside the Matrix, his old mentor Codexa tells him Cybertron is all but doomed. Cybertron is one living Allspark, and the Matrix is an echo of that Allspark. All Cybertronians are connected to it, and Cybertron is in pain and dying. Cybertronians feel fear for the end of their world. But Optimus Prime is not afraid, and that is why the Matrix chose him. He is a bot who still has hope and will inspire hope in others. In other places, the Autobot teams are ready. Smokescreen returns to Novastar to give his report. Hound, Road Rage, and Tapout are ready to catch an Insecticlone. And Ironhide tells Chromia to find a path away from the approaching dust cloud while Optimus Prime is still incapacitated. Chromia leads a team to find a path for the Autobots, but they run smack into a horde of Decepticon Seekers. And it's clear the truce is broken. The Seekers are there to stop the Autobots from finding an escape route. They are blocking the way, refusing to let the Autobots pass. Meanwhile, Novastar's team gets ready to assault the Insecticons' base. Some of them may not survive, but this mission is top priority. Finally, Optimus Prime recovers from his Matrix vision and sees the Autobots are trapped. The Decepticons are blocking their way out, and the Rustworms are coming. To be continued, or should I say to be concluded, the last issue of Transformers. So, this definitely feels like we're cutting things short here. I mean, this is the reality of IDW's time with the Transformers license ending, so storylines are getting cut short. And yeah, this definitely feels like we're almost to the end now. This doesn't feel like we're getting that close to the end. It feels like we're still a ways off. But I guess there's going to be a big double issue next issue, and that'll tie things up. And then I guess we will get that special to wrap everything up. But I thought this was basically juggling a lot of threads, pulling everything together here. Not a whole lot of action, more of like a calm before the storm situation. It's tying things together. Andrew's art was it seems a little bit different from what he usually does. I felt like his art style has changed just a tiny bit. But what I did like about Andrew is that he definitely kind of shrunk Optimus's chest. We've been complaining about Optimus still being in that Galaxy Cybertron body and it being not really a good fit for this series. But Andrew has been he did a lot of work here to make it look a little less boxy Galaxy and a more G1 Optimus. So I appreciate that. All the other characters I think are really well rendered. They've got pretty good poses and everything. And the colors are really nice too. The colors are very vibrant here in this issue. We've captured lots of different scenes here and lots of different characters. So the colorist did a good job. David Garcia Cruz, as usual, doing a great job. So Daryl, what did you think of this issue? This definitely felt like a set up holding pattern issue for me. So I imagine this was not too exciting for you.
Well, yeah, you're right there. I was kind of looking forward to this issue because of the action and everything that's been building up here. I thought, okay, well, we know that it's ending on 43 and it's going to be action until the end, because it's just that's the way it is. It's war, and they got some kind of tentative truce, but it's not a big enough truce, because they've still got a big bad out there, and there's all kinds of crazy crap going on still. So what are they going to do? But here we are, the second to last book, and it's like an info dump. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what? Why are we not, killing each other? Why isn't something actiony happening? Where's the threefold spark? Where's all these other bad guys that are, we haven't seen? I don't know.
Well, to be fair, the threefold spark is in his own miniseries, the War's End miniseries. So
I guess, but this is all. It's all here. It's in the end, I guess. But we didn't even see the Titan. We got a mention of her, that she's off to get fixed, I guess, at Darkmount. We saw Skylinks leave. I was coming into this one thinking, okay, here we're gonna have some action, we're gonna have some fun, and it was not fun. It was no action. So. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed. The best part about this book for me was Andrew's art. I was really happy to see Andrew back on the book, and I noticed some differences in his art too. But I was happy to see some really top tier art, back on the Transformers book, and he puts a lot of detail into every page, and that's some kind of stuff that I think I've been missing in the Transformers comics for a while. I liked seeing Smokescreen using his ability, and I don't know. It's I guess the Rustworms are going to be the ending that we're all kind of expecting to see here, but I don't know. I was really kind of disappointed with the way that this book went, because I was expecting, maybe my hopes got raised up with the way that the last two had gone. But yeah, I should have known better. It's been 40 issues of waiting for something to happen and being let down. So let's bring on 43 and end this thing.
All right. Jeremy, what were your thoughts on this issue?
I overall enjoyed it. I do agree that it could have had more action, but I mean, even the next issue isn't really the end, because we're getting that standalone issue to wrap everything up. So I feel like that's probably going to be where a lot of the action is, or maybe the next one and then no action in the last, but I don't know. But I mean, I do think that this could have had a little bit more. The art was good. I enjoyed it. I do also think it was a little bit different, but it might also be from Andrew trying to kind of make it look like more consistent with the previous issues. But one thing I'm surprised Daryl didn't point out is the Autobot logo on Optimus's shoulders.
I saw it during my reading.
A very clear stamp, and it stands out like a sore thumb. But I mean, I think primarily because he has that kind of indentation in the shoulders, and the logo just goes right on top of all of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it should at least shrink it down so it fits in.
I'm so proud of you, Jeremy. I'm so proud of you. You've come over to the dark side.
It's when it's obvious like that. I mean, once you pointed it out to me, it's just something I see. One question I had was, is that an aerial bot in Jyaxis' group? Like, where in the panel where they're firing, it looks like the jet on top is an aerial bot, and then later on where you see them transformed, it clearly looks like one of the aerial bots. I mean, I know they haven't really been introduced, so it could be the
I see it. I see what you're talking about. I don't think so. I'd have to find it.
Yeah, that does. I think that the red aerial bot is that Fireflight. I think. Yeah, that does look very similar. I don't know.
I'm gonna assume it's somebody else, but
I mean, it could be. But they haven't been introduced yet, so who knows? I mean, it might be. But I was looking in the wiki, and the wiki has just a question mark for one of the Decepticons. I don't know if they were also wondering who it was. But anyway, I mean, my bar for this series right now is so low. There wasn't really anything overly wrong with the book. The art was good. The coloring was good. The story was kind of flat. But I did enjoy the Optimus parts where he went, like where Cybertron was communing with him. I thought that was really interesting, and I want to see what comes out of that. So, I mean, it wasn't the worst that we've had but, it's just fairly middle of the road, and that's about all I can say about it, I think.
All right. Then I guess that will do it for this review of Transformers number 42. And we will move on to Transformers media news.
All right. In media news this week, Hasbro has published their Transformers franchise statement for the year of 2021. So, Jeremy, did you read this? I have not read this.
I did. I figured you were going to throw it to me, so I was trying to be ready.
Good man.
So they mentioned that they have that 5-year agreement with Paramount Pictures that started November 2017. Rise of the Beast falls under that deal because of the original 2022 release date. So, I mean, I guess, the 5 years is up, but this is still in there. And the upcoming Dungeons and Dragons movie, which is also coming through Paramount, is under a separate deal. They also were talking about the strategy that they used recently for My Little Pony, which had a film on Netflix that it said it fueled a greater than 100% growth in toy and game sales. They're going to be doing the same thing with Transformers starting in 2022. So that's obviously going to play in with Earthspark, and I'm guessing with the BotBots figures coming out next year, it's going to play in with it as well. And then Rise of the Beast next summer. So they it seems like they have a media formula that worked for My Little Pony, and I guess just like they did back in the 80s, they're going to try to replicate it with their other franchises. They did also say that the franchise brand's overall revenues increased 22% from 2022 over 2020 or 2021 over 2020, and the Transformers had higher net revenues supported by the War for Cybertron Netflix, like the final chapter of that. So, I mean, I think that's good signs that they're doing some media stuff that's working. And for everyone that complained about the Netflix show, it sold product, and that's really all that Hasbro cares about, I'm sure. I just wish that the BotBot figures, like a lot of the new BotBot figures that they announced, hasn't come out yet. And that seems like a miss to me. That should have come out with the Netflix show. But I think things are doing pretty good. So looking forward to seeing what this new roadmap they're going to do in the fall is going to be. And we still don't have a date for Earthspark. Still just fall 2022.
Wild. All right. And then lastly, for TV streaming news, we've got that the Transformers franchise has turned 38 years old officially. The Marvel comic, which was the first thing to get released, the first issue, it appeared on shelves. What was it? Was it May 8th? What, May 8th?
May 8th.
Yeah, so May 8th. And then and so that is the anniversary. And then to celebrate that, we've got some advertising storyboards that were released recently. So these are for television commercials that advertise the comic. So you can take a look at those. They are dated November the 11th, 83. And there's some really interesting stuff in here. The logo that they've got for Transformers is nowhere near what it ended up. And
kind of like it.
It's nice. But yeah, you can see some of the basic stories in there and some transforming. You could see one of the Seeker jets transforming and sitting in one of the panels in a Gerwalk mode, which is you never saw that in the show. Yeah, just funny to kind of look through these. These are very, very quick sketches. But yeah, I remember seeing the the commercial for the Transformers comic. But I believe it was it was maybe a YouTube clip or something after the fact. It may not have been YouTube, but on a VHS or something like that. But yeah, it's neat seeing all these old storyboards. Do you remember, Charles? You would have been married by the time the comics started coming out. What do you remember? Do you remember seeing the commercial on TV?
No, I don't. I was 8 years old in 1984. I was not an old man. But no, I don't really remember this particular commercial. I think I've seen it on YouTube and since then, but I don't remember seeing this on TV. I don't remember the Marvel advertising for the Marvel comic being that prominent for me. I was still not into comic books at that point, so the comic books did not grab me. The first thing that grabbed me was the cartoon that came out in the fall. So
yeah, cool. Jeremy, what about you? Does this ring any bells for you?
I did not have any recollection of seeing the advertisement for the comic until it was on YouTube. I don't know if I was even aware of the comic until much later, because I was all in on the toys and the cartoon. Yeah, and if they played this advertisement during the cartoon, I just have no recollection of it. So,
all right. Well, that's going to do it for media news this week. Charles, back to you.
All right, and just to follow up on our comic review, we were looking at that red jet bot, and Daryl had found it and put it in the chat, and I think he's correct that it was Windsweeper was the Decepticon Trigger Con.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I think it is. Yeah,
yeah, and in the TF Wiki entry for the comic, it lists Windsweeper as the character appearing there next to Red Wing. So I believe you're correct there, Daryl.
Woohoo!
It's just a red and white plane. Just says Aerobot to me.
Well, this one's a Decepticon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jeremy, I think you were right to be confused there, because if you look at the figure for Windsweeper, he does look like Fireflight, just a slightly different shade of red. If you look at the toy. And looks like they did a Combiner Wars version of Windsweeper that is just a repaint of the Fireflight figure.
Mm-hmm. So that might be adding more to the confusion. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That probably was what was used for the model I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was a part of the Transformers figure subscription service for through the Collectors Club.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have it.
Oh, and it's Skydive, not Fireflight. It was Skydive. Was the red air? Oh no, that he's white and gray. But I guess that was the one that they repainted.
This goes back to kind of what we were talking about on the toy show this week with all the repaints. I mean, Hasbro, come on.
Yeah. Fireflight is the red and white aerial bot, but he is. I guess for Combiner Wars, all the Combiner Wars jets were kind of one single mold that just got redecoed for each individual aerial bot.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've stretched it out long enough. Let's finish up the show with convention news.
All right, just one thing here. TFCon Chicago 2022 tickets are on sale, so go to tfcon.com/tickets. Note tfcon.com, not CA. CA is the Toronto show. And it goes from $110 for the premium weekend pass down to $55 for the standard, and then on down for single day. Kids between 5 and 12 are $5 each, no charge for kids under 5. So just head over there. It's looking to be an exciting show, and looking forward to it myself. So that is all we got for convention news.
Okay, and that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. As always, at the end of the show, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. Thank you all so much for continuing to support the show at our highest level, and that's why we give you a shout out in every episode. So thank you so much to John 4X Levengood and Demon Tech 82. And thanks everyone for listening to Transmissions Alt Mode. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.